This is the Happy Families podcast. One of society's perennial problems, one of the biggest challenges that parents face is kids being upset at daycare drop-off. Today, we answer a tricky question that involves what's going on in kids' brains when we drop them off and they melt down, and how is that different to cry it out? Specifically, if crying it out is so bad for kids, that isolation, that parental separation, how is that any different to leaving bigger kids at daycare, preschool, kinder, so that they can have a day without you? That is coming up in just a sec, as well as some answers for what to do around these separation challenges on the Happy Families podcast. Stay with us. Hello, welcome to the Happy Families podcast, real parenting solutions every single day. We are Justin and Kylie Coulson, parents of 6 children. I'm the author of a bunch of books, including I'm still breathing sighs of relief. After how long, Kylie? After forever and ever and ever. I've handed in the boys' manuscript. The boys' book is now being edited at the publisher. Oh, and it feels so good.
I'm glad it feels good for you. I'm still kind of holding my breath a little because I know there's more
work to come. I know, but we're getting close. We've got a publication date for sort of early to mid next year as well. Details on that soon. But today, as we do every Tuesday on the pod, we answer your tricky questions. If you have a tricky question that you'd like to ask us, it doesn't really matter what it's about. We'll pretty much talk about anything at all. Just jump online to happyfamilies.com.au, scroll down to where it says podcasts and click the record button. It's a super simple system. You literally push the button and start talking, and we'll talk about it all. Happyfamilies.com.au if you would like your question featured on the podcast. Kylie, today's question is a tough one from Icy in WA.
Hi, Dr. Justin. I'm Icy. I'm from Busselton. We have a 3.5-year-old son and a 9-month-old daughter. I'm just wondering as if cry-it-out sleep training is not appropriate for babies as they feel abandoned. Wouldn't that be the same when I drop my son off childcare, having him crying, kicking and screaming mommy while watching me walk away from him? He go there twice a week and he's still refusing to go even he has been there for over a year now. I often tell him beforehand. Is there any other way I can help him? Is it not good for his mental development, or should I just believe it is going to be good for him as he can learn how to socialize with other people?
Oh, I see. It's such a tough one. And this is one of those things that's been going on forever and ever and ever since we've had childcare for our kids. Kids have said, but no, I want to stay with mum. I love the question. Kylie, I'm going to throw it straight to you. You've got a background in childcare. You spent the first several years of our life together working in that industry. When you hear this baby crying it out versus a 3.5-year-old dealing with separation anxiety, Icy's saying is it the same thing? Is it different? I certainly have some strong opinions here, and I think we've got good evidence behind what I'm going to say. But what's your initial impulse, your initial reaction?
It's not the same. It's definitely not the same. When you think about a 9-month-old baby left in a room all by themselves to cry it out, there's no one there to support them through that process. You've walked away, and as far as they're concerned, you're not coming back.
Yeah.
Compared to your 3.5-year-old who you're dropping off at daycare, clearly in a place that you feel comfortable with, you feel safe in, you've got carers who are taking care of them, you've got other peers there who can help rally around him, and he's got the support he needs to work through the process.
Yeah, okay, so support networks are a critical difference there. There are a couple of other things that I'm going to step into from a developmental, emotional perspective, a cognitive perspective as well. The first is that a baby has no concept whatsoever of the fact that there's time, there's routines, there's schedules. They just think that they've been left alone. Whereas a 3.5-year-old does know, and you can explain again and again and again. I mean, they'll be upset about it, but you can explain, here's what's happening, here's what I'm doing. They do get it. It's not, they don't have the cognitive capacity of an older child, but they do get that. They understand, I will be back later. Later is a thing. It does exist. And we've got history. Every time I've told you I'm coming back, I've come back. So from a cognitive point of view, the big kid versus the little kid, the 3.5-year-old versus the 6-month-old and the 9-month-old, it is a significant difference. The other thing, outside of your comment about support networks and mine about cognitive differences, is emotional development, the ability to regulate your emotions. So emotion regulation is really, really poor in 3-year-olds, but it is in its early stages of development. You've got a baby they have no ability to regulate their emotions at all. If they're feeling something, you know it. If they're feeling isolated, scared, they've got a pooey nappy, they will let you know. They don't regulate. They don't think, now's not convenient. I'll just give mum and dad another 10 minutes. They just lose the plot right away because they're uncomfortable or they need help. So with a 3.5, 4-year-old, they want your love. They want your security. And when they feel like they're being deprived of it, they will lose the plot. But Kylie, let me ask you this, and I'm not saying this is ideal by any stretch, but when kids would lose it after being dropped off at childcare, when you were working in centres, how many of them, as a percentage, continued to cry for another 10, 20, 30 minutes or even all day?
So I can only remember one child in my training days came from a different country, so did not speak the language.
Oh, wow.
And was placed in care every day. And he literally cried from the time his parents dropped him off to the time he was picked up.
Okay, so that's a really unusual one. But
very unusual.
The norm when a child is upset?
The norm would be maybe 2, 3, 5 minutes max. Generally speaking, mum and dad walk out the door, they have a big cuddle with carer and they get distracted and they go find something big and shiny to play with.
Right. And
that would be general practice.
So that's my biggest response here to Icy is that, separation hurts. I mean, even as an adult, when I leave you in the morning to go off to work or do whatever, even I've got a home office. Even when I'm working in the office, sometimes I don't want to take the 10 steps from the front door to the office because I miss you. I want to be with you. And so even as adults, we crave one another. We're ultra social beings. We're supposed to be together.
That's how we're wired.
Precisely. But if your child is recovering really quickly and then adapting well for the remainder of the day, then I'm just not that concerned about it. Am I a little bit concerned about it? Yeah, it's not natural. It's not normal. It's not how we've done things for the entire history of the planet across every culture. But it is what we do now, and kids seem to adapt okay. And we don't have any evidence that it's creating any long-term mental health challenges for our children. If your children are going to have mental health challenges, it's much likely to be a whole lot of other stuff that happens at other points in their life, both when they're young and when they're old. But I don't think this is the key criteria here.
So 2 key indicators to help you feel, I guess, more at ease with your decision. Number 1, the recognition that after you leave, they calm down very quickly, they get into their social networks and they engage in activities throughout the day. And number 2, how do they present when you pick them up?
Right.
Are they happy to see you?
Yes.
Or are they devastated?
Yep.
You know, if there's big emotions around a pickup.
Well, we call that an ambivalent or an avoidant attachment style. And that is a signal that there are concerns. Good news, really, really uncommon.
So we would often drop off at one of our children. She would lose the plot every year. But then by the time I'd go and pick her up, I couldn't get her to leave.
She's like, no, but I want to stay with my friends.
So
I don't want to go. I want to take
So that's a clear indicator that while we don't love separating, once we're there, we're actually so engaged and so enjoying the experience.
And
we
don't
want to
separating
leave.
again. That's right. At the other end of the day, even though
that is normal development.
Yeah, and there is an attachment hierarchy, right? Like if your child has a choice between, usually it's mum at the top of the hierarchy. That's quite normal, and dads can sometimes be offended by it, but that's totally normal. Your child is clearly going to choose you over the childcare centre staff or over the friends at the childcare centre.
And let's be real, if they're not choosing you over the childcare staff, you're going to be devastated.
Yeah, that's right.
Which mum goes, oh, great, I'm glad you love them more than me.
All right, after the break, we need to tackle a couple of the other questions that Icy has asked. Specifically, if my child is still upset like this after a year, is that a problem? And secondly, will he ever learn how to make this work? That's coming up in just a sec on the Happy Families podcast. Stay with us. Today on the Happy Families podcast, answering tricky questions. This one, childhood attachment security, whether or not kids like or don't like being dropped off at childcare and should we do anything about it. Kylie, the second thing that Icy really zeroed in on was I've been taking my child to childcare for a year now Child is currently 3.5, so it started at 2.5. Not happy, still having the tantrums twice a week. This is just an ongoing dilemma. I'd love, again, your take before I throw in my 2 cents.
So again, if we go back to those two key factors,
Yep.
After you leave, how is the child responding?
Settling in or not. Yep.
If they're not settling in, then we actually do have an issue. We've got a child who's distressed all day and is not able to regulate at all. And then the second thing is, how are they coping at the other end? So they would be my first two things: having conversations with the carers, finding out what's happening during the day, and then assessing the situation from there.
We haven't swapped notes here, but I've got pretty much exactly the same thing written down. If there are ongoing problems, this is what I say to, I've had parents say, like, my child doesn't like going to swimming lessons. We're having tantrums, can't get him in the pool, can't get her in the pool. It's usually a boy. And there's all this drama going on. And so my normal response to that is take them out for 6 months, take them out for a year, and help them to just sort of grow up a bit. They'll learn how to emotionally regulate better, and then they will figure it out. Now, with preschool, you might not have that same level of privilege to be able to have your child at home. Maybe you need to work. The child has to be in care. But to the degree that you can either change the environment, change the teachers, or take them out, that might be something to consider if there's daily distress all day, every day, while they're in the centre.
So Icy's asked whether or not he's going to be able to learn to socialise with kids. Like that seems to be her main motivator for having him in care. I think so often we fall into this trap as parents, thinking if we don't socialise our children from an early age, that they're going to struggle when it comes to school. If we have a strong social network, if we have a strong village around us, then socialisation in a formalised setting is actually not needed at all. Our children are going to receive the socialising that they need through daily interactions with friends and family. If we don't have that, then our next step, instead of using childcare as the socialisation vehicle, is to create it. We become part of a play group. We pick one or two families where we see the kids actually have something in common, and we say, hey, would you like to catch up for morning tea? Would you like to meet me at the park? It actually takes a little bit more effort on our part, but it is definitely an easier way for children who are really struggling with separation anxiety.
Yeah, the idea, Alfie Kohn talks about what he calls the Biguti principle. Biguti is an acronym, BGUTI. Better get used to it. And a lot of parents use the Biguti principle to get their kids to do all kinds of things that are really hard and horrible, because at some point in the future they're going to have to do it anyway, so they might as well get used to it now. And childcare in some circumstances can be exactly that. If your child doesn't have to be there, then why get them used to it? They'll get used to it when they're 5 and they have to go to big school.
So a couple of tips if this is something that you actually really need to continue doing.
Yeah, if he's got to be at childcare and you're just stuck with it, how do you minimise the distress?
Do you tell him before you go? 100%.
Oh, tell me more. I'm a little bit on the fence on that one.
Don't ever surprise a kid.
Well, yeah, you don't want to shop and say, guess what? We're at kinder again today.
That's right.
Yeah, fair enough.
They're
Okay.
smart enough. They know what's going on.
That's right.
You're packing their bag. You're putting their shoes on.
I've been down this street
We've
before.
done this before, okay?
Yep.
So you actually, the best thing you can do, kids at this age need consistency, routine, and predictability. That's how their world feels safe. So it's not a sometimes thing. We have to give them a clear routine so that they know exactly what's happening. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
I know that sounds a little bit counterproductive for a kid who is anxious about leaving his mum.
Yeah, is it going to spike my anxiety?
Yeah. So then the second thing is to find something, whether it might be just a small piece of fabric, or you don't want to take a toy because it can get stolen or lost or broken, but something that represents mum and him, something that he can take from home that's kind of like a comfort. He's got that, just even if he keeps it in his pocket. There's a beautiful book called The Kissing Hand by Audrey Penn, and it just shares the experience of a mum kissing her child's hand and getting him to kind of, wrap his fingers around it, and the acknowledgement that even though she's not there, whenever he feels a little bit anxious, that he can open his hand up and kind of place it on his cheek or on his heart and know that mum's there.
That is a bit gooey. I like that.
Finding opportunities to just not bubble wrap him, but just scaffold him so that he knows, even telling him and teaching him how to read the clock, and that you will be here at that time. and then honouring that. If it's 3 o'clock, you can't be 3:05.
That's right. Be there
You
at 3
have to
o'clock.
be 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
So those few things will help him to recognise that not only do you love him, that you're with him all day, even when he can't see you, but that you will be back, are definitely going to help.
And I'm just going to throw one more in. I mean, I've actually liked this podcast. Normally I am the voice. Normally I am the expert. You've dominated this one. It's been so great. But let me throw one last one in, and that is give him something to look forward to when he's going. So who is he going to see? Who can he meet at the front gate? Who is his favourite person? And can they meet you in the car park so that they can be excited to get out of the car together and walk in together? Is there something that the childcare teacher can greet him with or get him to do straight away so that he's A, distracted, B, busy, and C, making a meaningful contribution? Something to look forward to. Someone to be with. It makes his experience of being at childcare feel a lot more personally choiceful and therefore easier to smooth that transition.
You've just said that and it's made me think of two more things.
We're out of time. You've got to do it fast.
Don't linger when you drop him off.
Look at you being the expert and taking all the time today.
You're so funny.
Don't linger.
Don't linger.
Yeah.
The longer you take to say goodbye, the harder it is.
Good
This
one.
is, again, counterintuitive.
Yep.
But you actually need to make it crisp, concise, and just move through
Just
the
like our
motions.
podcasts. Crisp and concise.
That's so funny.
Yeah, nice.
But that will require you working really closely with the caregiver.
Right.
They need to be a part of that process. It's
Yeah.
a quick exchange.
Yeah.
You leave, they take over.
Yeah.
And the last thing is, you talk about having something to look forward to when you get there. Having a ritual that you do when you pick him up. Something that he gets to do with you and he gets to look forward to it.
Baby chinos.
Could be a baby chino. It could be stopping off at the park. It could be going to give grandma a hug. Like
Yeah.
literally, it's just about the same thing every time that lights him up. He knows at the end of the day, I get to do this, and it excites him.
Icy from Busso, we really hope that we've answered your question effectively and helpfully today. Thanks so much for sending it through. You can send your tricky questions to podcasts@happyfamilies.com.au. Just send a voice note, podcasts@happyfamilies.com.au, or visit us at happyfamilies.com.au. Scroll down to the podcast section, press the record button and start talking. Another tricky question next Tuesday on the pod. Tomorrow on the podcast, Karina Savage, registered, accredited practicing dietitian, talking about neurodiversity and diet. How do we deal with kids that have all kinds of fussiness and challenges around eating? We're going to discuss that on the pod. The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media. Mim Hammonds provides additional research, admin, and other support. And if you'd like more info to make your family happier, especially on topics like this, check out the webinar, Little People, Big Feelings, online now at happyfamilies.com.au.